Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the show. Welcome back to Women's Wednesday. I'm excited to welcome my next two guests. This is the first time I've gotten to do more than one person at a time. Please welcome Debbie Ryan and Patty Fitzgerald with Midwest Jeep Thing. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I'm excited that you guys were able to fit me into your schedules.
We are
We're
honored
excited
to be
as
here.
well.
Yes.
Good. Perfect. Well, so I'm going to start off asking you guys a few questions. First things first, though, Debbie, let's go ahead and start with you and have you introduce yourself.
I am Debbie Ryan, and I have been a Midwest Jeep Thing member since 2016, I believe. I started attending Chicks in 2017, which is a all ladies event at one of our local wheeling places here in Missouri. And other than that, I have really enjoyed getting to know more of the Jeep community, and I've always wanted a Jeep, so met some really awesome ladies so far.
That's fantastic. Patty, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Patty Fitzgerald. I am actually the current vice president for Midwest Jeep Thing this year. I have been part of the club since 2018 when I bought my Jeep. Always wanted one like Debbie. Immediately got one and took it to our 101 course and went off road and started going. So, great club, great people, great experiences with all of our events and stuff.
That's fantastic. So you guys are Jeepers, and here I am driving a 4Runner. So this is great.
It's all good.
We're not going to have any Jeep bashing, right?
No,
No, not at all. Of course not.
we actually have a 4Runner that comes to the event.
That's right. You know, we have to stand out. We have to make our appearances.
Yes.
So tell us about your Jeeps. Debbie, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yours.
I originally started with a 95 YJ with a 2-inch lift on 33s. That was my daughter's Jeep. When she turned 16, she purchased it, and I had super Jeep envy because I still had to drive the mom car. She went to Air Force basic training, and then she went to tech school for the Air Force, and I took over the Jeep while she was gone. And she informed me when she came back that she was like, "Mom, I need my Jeep back." And I was like, "Well, that's really rude." So I had to go out and buy my own. So I drive a 2015 on a 3-inch lift. It's a JKU, and it is on 35s. And of course, it's like having a boat, and you always want it to go bigger and bigger and more. So yeah, I'm at the point now where it's really going to cost me a lot more to go, but that's the goal, is to get much bigger than I am now.
That's fantastic. I like the bigger and bigger statement. I cannot confirm or deny that thought has crossed my mind with the 4Runner. Patty, what about your Jeep?
So I'm kind of the same situation. I have a 2017 JKUR, which is the Rubicon edition of it, running on 37s currently. Bead locks, chromoly, axle shafts, sports cage, re-geared to 488s. A lot of the stuff has been done on the underside of it. Drive shafts have been upgraded, upgraded steering, which for me, I actually broke it at S'more, my first Jeep stock, not Chicks and Sticks. So I just look at it upgrades at this point. So she's a build in progress.
That's fantastic. So how was it after you re-geared it? Because I've actually been talking to my husband about possibly re-gearing mine to the same.
My gas mileage sucks even more than it did.
Really?
So Jeeps are not known for that. Not at all. But once I put the EVO in there, it's been great. It's a throttle control. It's really helped my gas mileage out. I can't wait to actually try that out on the trails.
That's awesome. Yeah, say my 4Runner, it sucks at gas. I think I'm averaging like 12.4 miles per gallon. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. When I go off-roading, I'm at like 8. Any other time, I'm at maybe 14.
Okay, yeah. Well, at least you're doing better than I am on highways. So Lee with Overland Radio saying hello, and Jennifer saying hello. And Holly is saying that she is excited for Chicks and Sticks 2002. So what is Chicks and Sticks? You guys have mentioned it a couple of times for people who don't drive Jeeps and haven't may not know about this event.
Okay, I'll take that. I am a co-chair this year. Chicks began in 2017, and this will be our 5th year for the event. 2020 was canceled, of course, due to COVID. And it was started by women members of the Midwest Jeep thing to really support the ladies that wheel in what was fairly a male-dominated sport. And over the years, more and more awesome ladies have become interested in the active and wheeling. And Chicks is a girl driver, girl guide, girl gunner event. And this gives the ladies a chance to encourage each other and get out of their comfort zone. I have been to every Chicks event since the beginning and have met some really incredible people over the years. And I know that a couple of ladies that are going to be participating in the 2022 Rebel Rally. So that's why I said there was a forerunner. She came last year, her and her partner. Her partner drives a Jeep Rubicon, I believe, and they were out there just really getting to test out some things and each other with their comfort zones and as far as listening to each other. But the more ladies that are coming to this event, they not only that they own and they work on their Jeeps, but a lot of them work and own at Jeep-based businesses, and they have some crazy capable Jeeps and the knowledge to wheel them as well. And these ladies are amazing, and they love to share their love of their Jeeps and wheeling with other females.
That's awesome. I'm all about supporting, women-based businesses, and especially when it comes to overlanding. It is such a male-dominated community but it's growing, it's progressing, and I love seeing the influence that other women have in it. I started wheeling back in January 2020, so I haven't really been doing it all that long. First experience was horrible. Got stuck. It was just bad. Decided I couldn't stop thinking about it and jump back in, and have not looked back since then. Yep. With the Chicks and Sticks, because I love the fact that you guys are saying that it's women-led, women-guided. What do you guys mean by women gunners? I hadn't heard that term until talking to you guys.
So with how we set up our trails and our leads, we have basically like 10 participants in a group, and then we have a guide who's in the front kind of leading the pack. Right. We'll have a mid gunner sometimes, depending on what level trails that we're doing. So it basically changes a spotting aspect for it.
Okay.
And then you have your gun, who's your very last Jeep, who is basically bringing up the tail and making sure that you guys are good. And we'll jump out, run up and spot so you can keep your lines moving.
That's fantastic. I like the organization that you got planned up for this.
Another job for the gunner is if somebody gets stuck or
runs
out of gas, something happens to their Jeep, they have technical difficulties, mechanical difficulties. The gunner usually stays there with them, or the gunner will take over the guide spot, and the guide will stay with that person until recovery comes and gets them.
That's fantastic. So do you guys do lessons, teaching classes or things like that at these events too, for maybe winching or how to recover themselves from a situation?
Patty, you want to talk about the 101?
We do. Okay. We actually, the club as a whole, we do a couple. We do 2 101s a year. We've got one coming up here. We take newbies out. We've been doing a virtual class the past couple of years because of COVID, but prior to that, we would go to one of our club sponsor shops and, have an in-person class and kind of, play and touch on Jeeps going, what does this button do? And, how do you hook up your winch line? And then we take them out in the field and we take them through trails and get them out of their comfort zone. And they either love it or they hate it. Most people love it. So for Chicks and Sticks, we're actually talking about doing a 101 course, like a mini one on Friday morning. People that aren't quite ready for it yet we're gonna take them out and show them a little bit of the basics, take them down a couple easy trails real quick, and then let them loose by lunch to join into some groups. We typically have recovery crew on staff for if there's any issues whatsoever. We've got at least 5 or 6 Jeeps sitting in back to be able to go help people out on the trails, because not everybody knows how to fix it when you're out there on the trail. So having that backup is great. What else about the 101, Debbie?
Like you said, people love it or hate it. It's really an introduction for them. We teach them. There's people that drive their Jeeps there that have never put it in 4-wheel drive. They have no idea.
Mhm.
I actually had a girl 2 years ago, 2 actual events ago. She came from the dealership. She had a brand new little red wagon, she called it. And she had the sticker. The dealer sticker was still in the window. And she
Oh my
drove it
gosh.
down. That was the year we had a freak downpour with some hail, I believe, a little bit of hail.
Mhm.
That was a fun year.
Yeah, so she actually went to her campsite and stripped her Jeep, took the top off, took the doors off, stripped it, and took off on a trail right from the dealer. And she was hooked. And every year she came back, that little Jeep grew a little more.
Mhm.
So she got lift and she got tires, she got wheels, she got, and the one year I took her, she thought she was bigger and better. And I got her on a trail and she bashed in the bumpers. The next year she came back, she had new bumpers. So
I love the fact that she left the dealership.
Yes.
And came out. That's awesome. I got mine,
Yes.
and I think it was within 2 weeks because this is my first 4x4 vehicle. So I'd always had the mom cars previously.
Right.
So this was this is my for me car. And within 2 weeks, I had it out, got my first scratch, and oh yeah, just cried a little bit with that first scratch because you could hear it.
Yeah.
So kudos to her. That is amazing.
Yes. It was really fun each year to see her get more comfortable with herself and her abilities. And then it's really great to get these ladies to know what their Jeep is capable of. So don't be afraid, because the vehicle is capable of doing a lot more than you think it is. Right. You just have to rest in there and have confidence in yourself. And when you get out and you stand next to them as you're talking them through an obstacle, it is so great to see their excitement when they get past that obstacle. They are so excited, and they're ready for the next one. So, and it's also a really good connection, because, this day and age, and I know that we're on an electronic platform and everything else, but this day and age, really having that human contact with somebody else and really communicating with somebody else and getting them safely through something and getting their vehicle safely through something and giving them the confidence that they need is for me, it's what it's all about.
I agree. I love that feeling. So when is this next Chicks and Sticks?
So the next Chicks and the Sticks is May 13th through the 15th, 2022 at Seymour, which is Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch in Seymour, Missouri. And you can find information on it at Midwest Jeep Thing on Facebook, or search Chicks and the Sticks 2022. You should be able to find it. Kathy, woohoo! We're excited. We can't wait for you to be there. We have a great sponsor for the event, and our main sponsor is Blue Beast Jeep, and they're fairly new. Sherry Beeman is one inspirational lady. She has a great trail rig, and she is fearless on the trails and loves to share her knowledge and lead ladies through the woods and teach them. And it's super spectacular. Also, some of our other vendors, the Axle Girls. So Axle Boy is he's a club sponsor of the club of the whole, not this event. And he has a bunch of ladies that work at his garage. And so they created Axle Girls. Okay. And so they'll be there wheeling as well and having a bunch of their folks out. Cassid's Jeep dealership from Illinois will be there. American Family Insurance is going to be a vendor. They have Jeeps. They come out and wheel with us. And these folks will all be out helping with us. And this year is Midwest Jeep Thing's 25th year of being a club. And we would love for everybody to come out and help us celebrate.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, I might have to bring my big black beast of a 4Runner out there
We would
and
love
stand
to
out.
have you. Yes,
we would love to have you out there.
Yes.
It sounds like a great time. Dawn's saying that she can't wait for it as well. So
It is.
tell us. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, with the event, we kind of do, so Friday night we do kind of like a social night after we've been wheeling all night. So we'll be out there. We have like vendor sponsors come out and into the pavilion at S'more, where they can sell their swag and hang out. And then Saturday night we do a huge raffle. We've got a catering gig from Up and Smoke, which is a local barbecue place, and if you've ever had Up and Smoke's food, you will never forget it because it is amazing. So we're really looking forward to all of that.
Nothing like it.
Fantastic. So obviously you're going to be camping out. Do you guys do like rooftop tents, ground camp, ground tents, cabins?
All of the above.
All of it.
All of the above.
Yeah,
You see all of it. So S'more's accommodations are great. They've got 8 cabins. They've got 40 something RV sites. I'm going to get that number wrong. I think it's 45 RV sites that have electric on them, and ton of primitive camping sites. So you see people that are out there overlanding. You've got people out there that are tent camping. They're in their RV. They've got cabins. There's a party going on in the generator section. It's always in the generator.
Yes.
It's a good time.
Right.
So
I can tell you they have the cleanest shower houses that any campground I've ever been to. And for the love of God, I don't know how they do it. They never run out of hot water. Never, ever. I have never run out of hot water in all the years I've been there. It's the best thing ever.
It's impressive when you get a park closed down and you've got 400 people in it and you still have hot water.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So what about you guys? Do you guys use rooftop tents yourselves or ground tents or cabins?
I've done ground tent and the cabin.
Okay.
I used to ground tent all the time. I am bougie now and I have my RV.
I love it.
Wait, I have done it
straight up bougie.
Yep, I've done an RV too, but I'm telling you, once you hit 50 and you start sleeping on the ground, you're like, nope. Nope, not anymore.
Yeah, I've got my rolling home.
Yeah.
I love my rooftop tent, so I don't know that it would get me out of that one yet. Not that I don't like the electric portion, the AC and stuff with the RV.
Right. There are many, let's see, who am I thinking of? Robbie has the best setup for his.
Robbie has the best setup for overlanding.
Setup for overlanding, he really does.
So he's got it set up on a trailer, and so he's got it up in the air on the trailer, and then his Jeep just pulls in behind it.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. He just to climb his ladder to go up.
Yeah, there's actually a couple people that have the tents, the rooftop tents.
Okay.
You see a lot of them on the Gladiators, or they're starting to come out with the Gladiators that they come out and wheel with us. There are a lot of them are doing the overlanding.
Yes.
Yeah, here in the Tulsa area, when I see them, I think I've only seen one rooftop tent on a Jeep, and I don't know if it's a Rubicon, it's that whole box style. I know nothing about Jeeps, I'm gonna admit it. I've seen it just rolling around, and I'm like, where does he go? But primarily you see him on the Gladiators, so it's fun.
Is he going to Disney if you're in Tulsa?
Maybe. I mean, that's where I'm at, is in the Tulsa area, but so Disney's is our big off-roading area here, or Crossbar more in central Oklahoma. That I'll be there the end of next month for a weekend. That's going to be fun. So yeah,
we've got quite a few around here. We've got Moonlight, which is in Sullivan, which is right outside of St. Louis, which is where we are at. Pruitt Mountain is an up and coming one. Flat Nasty is a couple hours from here, so is Disney. And then S'more's one of my favorite parks. If you haven't been there, they keep their trails well maintained. Their shower houses are clean. Their staff is phenomenal. Not that the other parks aren't. It's just I love their trails.
You're just
Double
biased.
Whammy Double Whammy is probably one of my favorites. It's a level 5 trail. It's one of those ones that you look at and you're like, I want to do that one day. So I talked myself into it for 3 years, and I finally did it. Not all the way up, but enough to go up and turn down because it gets way gnarly up top.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Donna's saying that last year was her first Chicks in the Sticks, and it was awesome. She made some great friends that weekend, and still to this day, they get together and talk, which is fantastic. That's what the community is all about.
Yes.
Jennifer, who's here in the Tulsa area with me, now she's saying she's got to get her rig so she can come too.
Come on, girls.
So
Yep. Come on up.
Jennifer,
Come on
let's
now.
just go do it. My husband, I'm not assuming he's talking about our rooftop tent in the trailer when he's saying yes, we do, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sorry, honey. I don't know what that statement was too. So you guys keep talking about Midwest Jeep thing. It's been around for
25 years.
For 50 years. Good Lord. It's a day. It's been a day. I know you and we all talked about it before the show.
Yes.
It's been a day. So for 25 years, how many members do you guys have?
Currently, we have just under 700 paid members. And then on our Facebook platform, we have close to 12,000.
That's fantastic. That's a huge community of Jeepers.
Yes.
And
it is.
Hopefully you guys won't stop Toyota people from joining.
No.
Not at all.
With Chicks and Sticks event, we really want to see women out there wheeling. We say Jeep because we know how to spot your Jeep.
Right.
But your wheelbase is your wheelbase. If you know how to wheel and you know some of what you're doing, we can help you with that. But
Right.
On a 4Runner, the wheelbase is different than it is on a JK which is one model of a Jeep. I know we keep referring to it.
Yes.
JLU, which is the newest model. There's just different sizes, different wheelbases. Take it differently on the trails.
I will say Jeep does have that for them. The fact that you guys are so narrow, you guys could fit through a lot more spaces than what I could in my 4Runner. It just seems like we're so much wider. I tried following a Jeep once and came out with all the way down the side of the car. My husband's saying that we could always get a Jeep, and he knows of one. So there is a dealership just up the street from me that has this little white 2-door Jeep. Again, I don't know what model it is, but he has been just hounding me about, we need to go get this Jeep. I don't know why, but he wants this Jeep. It's a pretty badass looking Jeep. I'm not going to lie. It's already lifted. It's got some bumper on it, but yeah, he wants this thing. I'm like, get ready your taco. He's like, no, I need both. So who knows? I might be showing
Sounds
up
like
in
you're getting a Jeep.
I know. Like, I don't if I show up in a Jeep, I'm just going to tell you right now, it is all his fault. Just period.
That's all right.
You
know what? Because we're going to take you on the trails and have a great day.
I won't know how to do anything in it at all.
Now your 4Runner, your 4Runner will fit because, like I said, we did. We got it's not Katie. I cannot think of her name at the moment. The two ladies that are in the Rebel Rally. She fared very well all the way through all the trails.
Did feel very well through all the trails because she was with you in the morning and then jumped in with me and Lori in the afternoon, and she rocked it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, okay. Then I'm comfortable bringing my 4Runner, and hopefully I won't have any deep gouges like I have had before. Jennifer's saying that she won't buy a Jeep because the doors are too small for her big old booty.
Come on now.
I mean, I've got junk in the trunk too, Jennifer. So if I can fit into one, I know you can.
You just got to move the seat all the way back, and the doors come off.
Right.
Jennifer, no. There is a meme that went out thanks to one of the other guys about I got caught driving slow because of a pedestrian in the road, riding his little bike, and they started calling me a grandma driver. And literally, like, this was like a week-long thing, and now she's giving me crap about ducks and grandma and I'm never going to live that down when I was trying to be safe and courteous.
Oh my goodness.
So what is your guys' favorite camp food? This is one thing I always ask because it's either always tacos for most people or it's something extremely different that I've never thought of taking for camping.
So we are a little spoiled with some more. Let me just tell you. So with our event, you can choose your tickets to be with or without food.
Okay.
Now, I'm a little lazy. I'll be the first to admit it. And if I can pay somebody else to take care of my food, I'm going to do that. But S'more has a great snack shack, and they provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner for us. So we just drive back up and pick it up. And on our last night, they literally make a steak dinner for everybody. Steak, loaded potatoes, salad, the whole bit. So I don't think that I have ever cooked at S'more. They have a great Mexican restaurant in town.
So I have cooked when I'm down there.
There you go.
Actually threw a pot roasted.
Okay.
Threw a pot roast in the crock potter and in the crock pot and just went wheeling for the day. When we got home, it was done. But I'm spoiled with S'more food or up in smoke food. His brisket tacos are to die for.
Yes.
And then in the morning, he makes burritos with eggs and whatever leftover brisket.
I'm just gonna know you guys forever now as the bougie Overlanders.
Yeah,
and that's just it. I mean,
okay. Well, I mean, the last time that I did cook, I went not on a Jeep event, and I went down to S'more by myself, and I brought my Instapot. So into the cabin, and I made chicken fettuccine, I believe, is what it was, and the Instapot took me 6 minutes.
So Jennifer,
I feel so bad.
Marcus and Stephanie are saying definitely take the doors off if your booty won't fit. Because she said she always hits the back. She's always hit by the back door latch.
The door hit in her back.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have ripped a belt loop on the back on the latch. I can't tell you that.
I don't speak Jeep, so that did not make any sense to me. So I appreciate you guys decoding that. So do you guys ever camp yourselves outside of your events?
Yes.
Okay, and you guys always use your RVs or cabins?
Yes, we actually. So my husband took the Jeep to Tennessee, and they all stayed in cabins, or not cabins, but hotels. So they didn't really. I started a new job, so I couldn't go to that one. But we did go to Colorado. We took the Jeep to Colorado. That was a whole lot of fun, but we stayed in Airbnb. So because we were there for like 8 to 12 days. I don't remember. Yeah.
So Dawn saying she cooked last year.
Dawn was cooking on like a grill like this big last year.
See, I use a jet boil. And it's great.
Oh, nice.
So we love our jet boil. We use it every time we go camping. And then we've got some friends who use the scuttle, which I kind of want to do a class just to see how to use the scuttle to see if it's something that I want. But I absolutely love my jet boil.
Yeah, I do. I've recently procured a smaller Blackstone, which is portable. You just put it all in a little bag and you just take it with you. It's fantastic. And I cook everything on it, like everything.
We're talking about getting one of those for our trailer.
I just got one for mine.
Did you? Okay. So yeah, our trailer is a new build. We're building it up ourselves, and that's on our list is to get a portable Blackstone to take with us.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Yeah. Can't recommend it enough. Yeah. It is. They're fantastic. But if I had to cook over an open fire, walking tacos would be my number one because you only have to cook one thing. Everything else
or chili.
Yeah.
Or chili. Okay. See, I haven't thought about chili.
We've done chili in just a Dutch oven over the fire.
Okay. Very nice. So what's your must-have piece of camping gear? This one's always entertaining to me.
A cot.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, a cot.
Okay.
100%. I can do without a blanket and everything else. I gotta have a cot. I can't sleep on the ground anymore.
Okay.
Because they have ones that I fold all the way up like a bag chair. So just tuck it in.
There you go. Holly saying Cards Against Humanity is her must-have. Now
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yes. We
Adult
do play
beverages
that.
yes. A
I
card,
bet
yep, under
that's
the
entertaining.
pavilion. Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
You really get to learn different sides of folks. It's pretty fun.
Oh yes, and the more you drink while you play it, the more entertaining it gets. I mean,
Absolutely.
you have no idea what people are getting ready to play.
Oh my gosh.
So for each of you, what's been your biggest challenge as a woman in a male-dominated community?
Asking for me,
Mm-hmm.
I will figure it out myself. I will do it myself. I don't need your help. And asking for help or saying I need help. We were at a chicks event and I, for the love of God, could not get the door off. My pin on my hinge, it was rusted and I could not get it. And I tried everything I could and I finally had to go get help. But yeah. And when you're in an event that's not Chicks in the Sticks,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have too many chiefs out there
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell. You have too many people trying to tell you, and then if you're driving and your husband is sitting next to you, trying to tell you, and you have 3 people outside the Jeep trying to tell you, you got to tell everybody else to shut up,
Right.
and you got to tell one person, "I'm listening to you, so tell me what I need to know." And sometimes that's really hard, especially for ladies, and they're like, "Oh, you're so crabby." But it gets to be overwhelming as a driver,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you're listening to one person that you know that you trust and can get you through what you need to get through.
Right. Patty, what about you?
I'd have to agree with her on that. It's there's so many out there trying to spot you and telling you which way to go up the hill, but being able to just tell them to shut up and I want that one that's my spotter is
Mhm.
probably the hardest thing. Within our club is, everyone's really welcoming and they want to be so helpful. So like the experiences I've had, I think are probably a little bit different than some. I get out there and I like to play with the big boys. So, or
Mhm.
I think that I can. I'm not quite there yet. I tell everybody, I'm like, I've been wheeling for 5 years now. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they keep telling me that I need to realize that I have a big Jeep, and I'm like, no, she's still small. She's like middle. We're
Yeah.
middle line.
Yeah.
So, it's just, yeah, it's finding that one person and, being able to tell the others going, hey, no,
Mm-hmm.
I want, this is my spotter. I need you to back off.
No, and say that I can understand. Typically, my husband's my spotter, unless we're out with a group. But our groups are really good here in Tulsa, our local community. When we go wheel, we're really good about setting one person as a spotter, and we've got
Mm-hmm.
a person on each side who's viewing the vehicles from the side profile in case the spotter in front of you can't see something. And they're
Yeah.
really good about communicating, but the driver's watching that one in front because that's the one that you can see. But so we've got a really good network here, but I understand where you're coming from. I've been at events where there's lots of people trying to chime in, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
remember you need that one that you can trust. It's always trust your spotter.
Right.
Jennifer is saying, Cards Against Humanity is her favorite game. My husband's asking, the real question is, though, what is your favorite deck?
Oh.
Mm.
I've only played with I think I've done the 3rd expander deck, but I know that it gets real specific.
I mean, all of ours are mixed in at this point. The box is just
It's gigantic.
huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you
Sorry,
haven't
Jeff. They
played
didn't
in,
give you much to go off of that one.
Oh,
no,
sorry,
but
man.
you should check out Impractical Jokester if you like Cards
Okay.
Against Humanity.
We'll have to check that one out. So what's one place that you guys are wanting to explore just outside of, your Missouri network?
On my list is Moab. I don't know
Okay.
if Patty's been there. Patty's already been there.
Nope.
No, you haven't?
It's on my list.
So Moab is on my list. The one thing, so Patty did touch on, we do have quite the membership, the non-paid members that are on our other page, our public page.
Mhm.
And you can, and several members have put out there that says, hey, I'm headed to Colorado or wherever. And another Jeep club will jump in and say, hey, we will meet you and we will take you. And several of our members have met up with other clubs through our club to wheel in other states.
That's awesome.
But Moab is on my list.
Moab's on your list. That's like number one
Definitely.
for you?
It is, yes.
Okay.
My girls got to grow a whole lot more before I go there.
I mean, I definitely want to explore more. I haven't been down to Hot Springs yet, so I want to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Want to go to Moab. I want to go out to, I heard there's some great trails in Tennessee. So travel.
All over.
I just need a really big trailer.
Yeah, right? So one thing
And so
about
big.
Oh yeah. And one thing about the Jeep is, I don't know if you've heard of the Jeep badges.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, you can go on there and just literally pick a state and go there.
The Jeep badges is like one thing I find extremely fascinating that I wish Toyota did. I was driving the other day and my husband and my kids were in the car. And I think I about gave myself whiplash because we had passed this Jeep that had all these little badges all over his car of places and trails that he's accomplished. And I'm like, can I go flag him down just to like check these out and see where he's gone? Because to me, it's fascinating. And I wish I could get something like that to put on mine besides just a sticker.
Right.
So I think the badges are more, they're like a big deal to have that.
Mine are on my cooler.
Your cooler.
Mine are on the fridge in the garage.
Yeah.
You're supposed to show them off. I'm so disappointed.
My Yeti does go with me and whenever we go anywhere. So it's in the back of the Jeep, but my badges go with us. So, but if the trails that are on the Jeep badge aren't just, they're not just for Jeeps. You can't get the badge, but you can always go to that trail.
Oh, I know, but it's that whole, you guys have
it is.
You guys
got to put in your VIN number and everything. Yeah, we got a trophy. Participation.
Shh, don't tell each other that. Don't tell people you guys got a participation trophy. Come on.
It's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor.
Is that a badge of honor?
That's what we're going to call it.
Badge of honor. No, I think it is the badge of honor, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. It's badge of honor.
S'more actually has 2 trails there.
Yes.
6 and 6. When you come down, you can at least do the trails.
There you go. Okay. I'll just take a photo and say I did it.
All right.
So how did you guys get started in overlanding?
Mine was, I've always wanted to. So I grew up with motorcycles and 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers. Next to a side-by-side, that's pretty much the next progression is a Jeep. And I've always wanted one. My daughter got one and we got hooked. And Chicks in the Six was our first event together. Mother and daughter, we just took off on our own. And it was, I was hooked from then on. But I've always wanted a Jeep. And like I said, she had a little 2-seater with no air conditioning. And she drove that for years before she just got her other car. So that's how I got started. Yeah.
Patty, how about you?
So I love the outdoors. Always have. I love being active and getting out there. And, like Debbie, I've always wanted a Jeep. Since I was a kid, I always wanted one. My dad, I want to get a Jeep. And he's like, nope, don't ever buy a used Jeep. He's like, think about what you're going to do in it. Somebody else already did. But lo and behold, I bought a used Jeep. Nobody had done what I've done in it so far, which has been great. But it's just getting out there, the community of it, getting out there, tackling obstacles, hanging out at night around campfires. It's an amazing experience.
It is. 100%. and I agree with.
Jen saying, first time I've heard of Chicks and Sticks. Very cool. Jen, honestly, I just heard about it last week. So I think it's great. Definitely something that I want to look into more, see if I can't possibly come join you guys. So Jen, maybe you can come join me too. So a fun question, since you guys do so many obstacles. Have you guys, what's like been your most difficult recovery and how did you get through it?
I ended up, so at some more like 2 years ago, we had a pretty rough spring. And one of the trails got washed out, and most of us that go down, we don't get to go down unless we go down a week before. But the owner of Samore is very adamant that it is a family property, and he doesn't let anybody on the trails until Friday.
Okay.
And if it's a 3-day weekend or a holiday weekend, it's Friday to Monday. So usually when we go down there, we pick out our trails, guides and gunners do, and we know the trails. We've been on them 5, 6, 7, 10 times, dozen times. Don't think anything of it, and we know where we're going. Well, I got on a trail that you couldn't turn around, and I had 6 Jeeps following me, and I got to a gully, and I got off my Jeep and I got in the gully and I stood in it, and it was up to my chest.
Wow.
And I was taking, so we call them the baby groups. So I was taking the newbies. So I was on what they call 1 and 2 trails. We don't do gullies on 1 and 2 trails.
Right.
And so I was like, well, we're going forward. One of us, I actually have pictures. One of us came out on 3 wheels. So she came up and she had 1 wheel in the air, and I was just like, speed is not your friend. Go slow, and we'll get that right front tire back down, But 2 of us smashed our bumpers in. Me, I got new stubby bumpers. So my husband was like, you're going to get him anyways. You didn't need to smash them in. I was like, well, I was on a trail I shouldn't have been on. So, but yeah, we were stuck, and that was hard. And the one thing about you get on trails like this, you have to figure out the least carnage way to go.
Right.
And the hardest thing as a guide is people have to understand that you have to take risks. And when we get out on the trails, just like anybody else, sometimes we get into situations that we had no idea was out there in the first place.
Right.
And we have to move forward because, again, we were on a trail. Unless everybody was going to back down, all those Jeeps back all the way out. I mean, we were in this trail. There was no backing out of it. So we were going forward. And that was an experience. I'll never forget that one as long as I live. Because when we came out, then you had to straddle where the water came down at. And so that was, that was a good time. That one I'll never forget. I will never, ever forget that one. Because I had a lot of white knuckle drivers that was like, all right, we're going to get through this. Right. And we'll do it slow, but we're going to get through it. So, yeah, that one was hard.
What about you, Patty?
So I've had a couple different fun experiences at Chicks and Sticks. 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago, where it just downpoured. Poured. Like you're holding an umbrella both sides in the pavilion because it's just pouring.
Yeah.
So when it rains that hard, your trail difficulties, they bump up a level the next day. So we bump, everybody bumps down. We're like, okay, we were doing 4s and 5s. Nope, we're going to do, 3s, maybe a couple 4s.
Right.
We got to the point we actually ran into Debbie's group again where we were going down guardrail and it was just a mudslide.
Oh, so that was horrible.
It was horrible.
I remember that.
You could do was just control the slide all the way down the hill. And kind of talk people through it. Don't go too driver, don't go too passenger. You need to hit this rut just right and just lock your brakes and slide on down.
Yes.
And And then another time this October, I was actually there again, rain. Um, it had rained pretty well. We decided to go out in the afternoon when it stopped and do trails we do all the time. And I'm like, I do these trails all the time. Wasn't aired down as much as I normally am when I'm on the
Mhm.
trails. Is that like normally when I'm at S'more or somewhere wheeling like that, I'm at maybe 8 to 10 psi. When I
Mhm.
was at like 15, so I was already kind of off my game because my Jeep felt weird and going up one of my favorite hills. I can't make it. I can't make it. And so I'm on the easiest line. And the next thing I know, there's a tree right here. And so I'm pulling line. So my husband runs out. It starts pouring again, hooks my winch up, pulls me up the hill. I get up the hill. I had two Jeeps behind me. The second one that was behind me broke his rear drive shaft on the way up. So we had to try to figure out the easiest way to get him out. So while we were trying to pull him out, I went ahead and moved up the trail a little bit, and my driver's side tires climbed the obstacle before my passenger side did.
Mhm.
So I'm like this on a hill, basically sitting on a tree, getting ready to roll. Um, all I could do was really slam on my brakes. My husband again jumped out of the passenger side, went, grabbed the winch line, hooked me up. My buddy who was behind me is just standing there on the passenger side holding it, going, all right, we're just going to hold you here for a minute. So got me out and, and hooked up the guy with the broken drive shaft and wheeled our way back in.
And say that sounds definitely like an adventure. And say that was one of my. How often are you guys close to flipping it? I know Jeeps have like that little sensor that lets you guys know when you're at your tipping point. No, apparently it's just some of them.
It's got to be new. Because
Okay.
you have what, a 17 and I have a 15 and mine don't have that.
Yeah, nope.
Okay. I've got a friend out in Arizona that runs, like her whole family runs Jeeps. And she'll send me pictures of when they're off wheeling going, I'm this close from tipping. I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at here because you're sending me Jeep stuff. But she's always keeping me informed and it's fun. So what kind of tires do you guys run on your Jeeps? Are you running mud or are you running all terrains?
I ran Nittos.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, I hated them. People love them.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a fan. They're so noisy. I decided at the time that I got other tires, I knew that my daily driver was not going to be my daily driver for very much longer. So I opted not to get aggressive tires because I was driving almost 30 miles one way to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got more highway friendly tires. And I can tell you now that I got a new job and I'm 3 miles from work, I'm going to buy new tires, much more aggressive tires.
Okay.
I have General tires on there right now. I've heard Coopers are great. I think that's what I'll be looking into next. But I did have Nittos. They were fantastic climbing tires. Like I could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I wasn't on grass, I hated them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm running the General Tire Grabber X3s. They're mud terrains. I love those tires. They're aggressive. They do well on the road. They're not super noisy. They're amazing on the trail, the way that they grip and they go. And I've hit to where I probably should have punctured my sidewall a few times at this point, but haven't yet. I've been running them for 2 years now.
Okay.
So I love those tires.
So right now on mine, I'm running the Cooper STT Pros, and so they're the big aggressive mud tires. Well, I work like 20 miles from my house, so my tires are cupping really bad.
Oh no!
So the noise is horrible. Yes. The ride is just awful. They're great off road, but as a daily driver, my family vehicle, it's just not an enjoyable ride anymore. So I'm actually looking for new tires. I spent about an hour and a half last night researching kind of where I want to go. I've looked at the Cooper, their all-terrains, the Geolander all-terrains, and the General Grabbers all-terrains. I still just can't get past I like the aggressive look, so I still want to stay with mud, but it's just not beneficial at all for me to stay with mud.
I would say I have mud, so my Grabber X3s are mud terrain. They're amazing. And I drive probably 45 minutes one way to work when I have to go in.
Yeah, see, I have to go in every day, so
Mhm.
it just sucks. Kathy's saying that apparently the 18 JL doesn't have the. I'm gonna have to ask her what kind of Jeep she's got, see if she can explain it to me in layman's terms as to what this little sensor is. Phil's telling me I need to go with all terrains. He's recommending the BFGs. I'll have to look into those.
I had those prior. No, I had the mud train prior, the BFGs.
Okay. I'm looking for recommendations.
I've been through like 4 sets of tires. I just keep going bigger. I'm just up to the point now where I can't without doing an axle swap.
If I go any bigger, I'm going to have to do that re-gear. And so I'm like right there right now at the threshold. I probably should, but I'm not just there yet. But if I do go bigger, I'm going to have to. He's saying Nitto sucks. So Debbie, he's agreeing with you.
They cupped, and no matter how much I rotated those gosh dang things, even with the spare and everything else, they cupped. They were so loud. I even bought another stereo system because I couldn't hear anything. Well, so loud.
So like I rotate mine literally every 5,000 miles.
Right. That's where I was at.
Like what you're supposed to. And these things, I did a road trip back in July last year from here to the Grand Canyon with multiple stops. So it was every night we were in a different campground. So a lot of highway driving. When we came back, the tires were cupped and they have just progressively gotten worse. It doesn't matter how many times I rotated them. I took it into the shop yesterday because it was making this noise, and he's like, it's your tires. He's like, your tires are vibrating and it's causing this sound because it's very random when it's happening. And he's like, get those off. Go order new ones. So it's been interesting.
Oh man.
Oh, see, Jen's talking about pinch and roll display. Somebody knew what I was talking about.
Oh. Yeah, some of the older ones have them, and some of the newer ones have them. And there was a time frame where it's like an option on some Jeeps, I think. I don't know. I just know I don't have it.
Okay, I just feel better that I'm not crazy and I'm not making this thing up. So at least somebody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
it's probably a package. Probably an upgraded package.
Okay,
or some people have aftermarket.
Right.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, the new digital display. I would love to get that digital display that you can put in.
Have you seen the radio? Dude, that is beautiful. It's expensive.
I know.
Don't.
I know. No. That's what I said. The 2 foot, like you just want it bigger. You just there's always something you want to add to it. It's like having a fishing boat.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now. You guys completely lost me in this conversation.
Sorry.
So they have this radio that you can like pull to your dashboard and display on your dashboard. And so you can like change your terrain for whatever terrain you're wheeling on. Your dash can show your Jeep doing the pitch. It's insane.
Okay. See, I can get behind that, but y'all were just talking about something. No idea. Josh, yes, I know you think I'm crazy. I'm okay with it. I own it. I just say I'm animated. We're just going to go with that one.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Donna says she's got the pitch and roll sensor on her 2021. Phil, I know you and your Jeep. Okay, I know. You've been telling me to get a Jeep for a while. Go talk to Jeff.
Get that white one. Yeah, that white two-door. It's right down the road.
I don't need any more people ganging up on me about vehicles. Cindy Pope was on here a few weeks ago, and she's selling her van, and he's trying to convince me we need to buy the van for van life. Now he's on this Jeep kick, and you guys are not helping my situation. I don't have enough room.
Get a trailer.
How about a schoolie?
Don't help him. Don't help him. Stop it.
There's several of them that have the schoolies.
Apparently, it's a 2004 Wrangler X. I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay. It's a 2004 Sport.
I don't know. It's a little two-door. Like I said,
it'll go anywhere.
It'll go anywhere.
So does my 4Runner. I'm okay with this. Okay.
Smaller places, though.
You know what? I'm done with both of you.
Okay, wait. I do want to add one more thing about the event. So with most of the events with Midwest Jeep Thing, we are a 501c7. So we are not for profit. And any money that we raise at any of the events that we have, we go to charities. So one of the charities for the Chicks and the Sticks is the Jesse Combs Foundation, and which provides scholarships to women all over the nation for tech school programs that are in the more male-dominated fields.
That's awesome.
So that's where...
when we're done with this show, you guys can go back into the comments, go in there, post the event, and there's the link to the event. So if anyone who's watching wants to be able to find it, because I know I had trouble finding it on Facebook when we started talking.
Yeah.
Go in there and add it. That way anyone else can join, sign up, things like that. I'm definitely going to be looking into my schedule and see if it's something that I can do as well. Jen's not helping either with the once you go Jeep, you never go back. It's
never.
I like my 4Runner. Sorry, you're not talking me out of my 4Runner. I am going to be Toyota through and through.
You know what? Wheelin's wheeling.
That's right.
Right, that's right. I can still go places. So I've had a blast, even though I've talked about stuff I have no clue about.
Well, thank you so much for having us on.
I've appreciated you guys coming on, telling us about the event, telling about your group. It's been a highly comical chat tonight, which is great. I don't appreciate the ganging up on me with siding with him, but we'll talk about that later.
It's encouragement, just encouragement.
Encouragement.
Yes.
Is that what we're going to call it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
Got it. I'm watching you too. That's just all it is. I'm watching you guys. So do me one favor before we leave. Tell everybody where they can find you guys on social media, your group, and the event.
Let you go, Patty.
So we are Midwest Jeep Thing. You can find us on Facebook under Midwest Jeep Thing. We have a website, MidwestJeepThing.com, where all of our events are listed there as well. The Chicks and Sticks event does have like a paid attendees page on Facebook as well. And I'll post up all the links for you guys so you guys can get out there and see them. But if you're having a hard time finding us on social media, Facebook, hit up the website. It's literally MidwestJeepThing.com.
Perfect. And do you guys have your own like Instagrams or anything like that you post your events, your pictures and things like that on?
Not really. I am not Instagram savvy. I'm a little old.
No, there's several numbers.
Yeah, there's several numbers that do. They have different events that they post up to. So that's one good thing about the Jeep community is, Midwest Jeep Thing is our club, and it's such an inviting community that we all kind of band together and go. Mm-hmm. So
I think that's just the overlanding community in general. It's super supportive. So Holly's trying to convince me too on this Jeep thing that she used to be a Chevy. I'm so just done with
Holly's our director of events.
Yes.
Jen's saying sign her up. So definitely send her the links after the show. Holly, thank you for posting that up there. So Jen, go check out the comments. There is the link to Midwest Jeep Thing, Chicks and Sticks.
Ticket sales for Chicks and Sticks.
That's actually the ticket sales, yeah. But you can go to the other sites and actually get information about it. So
that's fantastic. Well, thank you guys both so much for joining me tonight. Everyone, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the antics, or my new phrase is shenanigans. That has happened on this show. Yes. And I will see you guys all next week. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.